Hi my travel family, this is another quick tip video and today we're going to talk about Facebook groups. If you're already using Facebook groups for traveling, you can skip this video and I see you next week. But if Facebook groups are a new topic for you, I'm really interested in what you're thinking about them. Please post a comment. Anyways, there are always some people who hate Facebook and some people who love Facebook. Even if you hate Facebook or Facebook groups, there's one thing you shouldn't forget. There are so many Facebook travel groups. Just to summarize my pros and my cons about Facebook groups. I mean, one thing why I don't like Facebook while traveling is of course that when you travel and when you see the greatest spots of the world, you should stay f***ing offline. Stop scrolling through news feeds. For example, I remember when we went to Magnetic Island and we stayed at a beautiful hostel where you could have your breakfast on the beach. There were some people who were actually only watching the beach while FaceTiming. Come on. In general, for getting travel information, Facebook groups are great. I link some of the greatest groups I've found in the description. So click on the description where you can read more and there's a list of groups. Tell me if you like them, and if you know some other Facebook groups, post the name of the group in the comments. I will add them to the list. So Facebook groups are great not because you can ask, is there anyone else in Bangkok right now? Yes, of course there are other people in Bangkok. I mean, this city is huge. You can actually get some really great first-hand, high-quality information in these groups. For example, if you're traveling around an area which is not that touristy, you can ask how to get from A to B. I read like really great insights. For example, in Vietnam, where many people go by motorbike and sometimes you don't really know where to go. In these groups, they will give you like insider tips for sure. What's also awesome, if you have like a tough timing for your whole trip and you need to plan your trip properly, your budget and your days, and then you want to go somewhere but you heard the weather is bad or the forecast in your app says like the weather is really bad, there will be a storm, you can ask people in this group, is there someone at this place and is it really that bad? And depending on the answer, you can actually adjust your route and your whole trip. I think this is great information you cannot get anywhere else. Seriously, one of the things I love the most is that Facebook groups are connecting people who share resources. For example, when we traveled around New Zealand, at the end we needed to get rid of some of our equipment like tents, sleeper bags and all this stuff because we knew that we wouldn't take it to Southeast Asia. So we posted that we're going to sell our stuff for some little money, of course. People are sharing and selling everything. For example, cars and even bikes or surfboards.
Surfboard.
And this is great. And people are also posting that I'm going from the North Island to the South Island. I have a spare seat in my camper van. Do you want to come with me? Sometimes you give them some money, sometimes you don't. And people are even offering jobs in those groups. For those of you who want to stay longer, maybe you want to volunteer somewhere in Southeast Asia, or you want to do some homestays, or you want to do woofing in New Zealand. This is something you will find in those Facebook groups. But then again, of course, there are always people who are asking questions because they're too lazy to do their own research. This happens all the time, and I understand that people say like people who are using Facebook groups are maybe lazy people. Of course, I'm always saying like try to stay offline as much as you can. And even if you don't know about the weather conditions, I mean, if you get into a storm or like a monsoon or whatever, this can also be an adventure and part of your trip you truly love at the end. You don't need to double check everything on Facebook, I understand that. But I just wanted to give you a brief idea why I love Facebook groups in a certain framework. And if you like this quick tip video and if this video actually helped you, please give me a thumb up. Please post a comment what you think about Facebook groups in general. So if you haven't done it, please hit the subscribe button and I summarize many other tips in my other videos. Thank you so much for watching.
Stumble all in the house, time to back up all of that mouth that you had all in the car. Talking about you the baddest bitch thus far. Talking about you be repping that.